Hello, I'm Artur Bessoni, and in this video we're going to cover how the workflow for structural steel works inside Shedmate. This video is going to be very direct, something towards directors or people who are on the decision making, so I'm not going to be covering details, every single button or every single feature of the system, but pretty much the workflow, what we can do and how it can benefit your business, all right? So to get started, we have what we call the inquiry system. This can be used and embedded on your website, so customers can request a quotation directly from it. So imagine your website, open to new inquiries 24/7, and your customer doing the design. So you can define a preset. So Shedmate has this Shedmate presets feature in which you can actually define specific templates for the sheds that your business sells. So we have a few examples here of commercial, agricultural, for instance, these machinery shed that have open, have enclosed. So this could be an example of a shed that we will be using, or we could just use another one here. Let's get, for example, this machinery shed that's fully enclosed, right? So this is how your customer would start, and they can easily come here and type, hey, I want a 15 meters long shed. I want this to be 16 meters wide, and I want it to be 4.2 meters high. And as I'm making these modifications, you can zoom in. Shedmate's actually readjusting and readapting, and I can change here lots of stuff like what kind of cladding do I want, the colors. So think about it as an easy system that your customers or your prospects or your sales team can use to collect inquiry information to understand the design intent. Once they are happy with their design, we jump to the next step, request a quotation. So to do this, we can quickly click here on request this quote, and then you can put the information if it's an individual business. For instance, I'm using here like Henry Ford and Shedmate's phone number, and I'll just put here the town, like Sydney, and then I could select if it's supply and build, if I want installations or not, or how did you hear about us, and I'll just put here, this is example of the workflow. Then I'll hit send, and now Shedmate got my inquiry in your business. So if I go here to this environment that I'm demonstrating and just reload the page on my drafts, I can see that that project Henry Ford was just created right now as an inquiry draft. So I can click on it, and now I have the client details there. So imagine you can use this on tablets and get client details anywhere, or your website can be just creating this lead generation process for you. Then once I open it, now I can see that this interface is a little bit different from this one, because now it's more technical, right? Here we can do a lot more, including the, what we call lookup engineering. So the lookup engineering is a process we use before the quotation. So now I receive this and I need to send a quotation to my customer. So Shedmate now is looking into our database. We have multiple, pre-engineering database, and if you have your own based on historical information that you have been doing in the past, you can upload it directly here in your company. We can cover that in other videos, but just showing the workflow here. I have a list of different engineering that would work for this specific shed. This one here is from 15 to 18 meters long, up to 6 meters high, and in TC2, IC1, and Gable N, 9 meters enclosed. So that's the one. So I can see that Shedmate already turned some of those frames red, and that's pretty much because saying, hey, these frames are not going to support the this width. So let's make this update. So I could change one by one here, or I can just hit apply to all. When I hit apply to all of my current items are going to be replaced by what this engineering computation tells us to be. So instead of columns 222.3, I'm going to use universal beams 31032, and I'm going to do the same for all of the other items in this model. So let me click on apply to all and look what's going to happen in the model. There we go. So now everything is in green, looks good. So what about pricing? Shedmate has what we call instant quoting. So the instant quoting runs in real time based on a list of pricing from your business and a list of pricing calculations that you can set up as well. But the usability is very simple. All I have to do is select one of the pricing databases, and we can have many different ones for different manufacturers or different regions that we attend. So I'll just use this as an example, structural steel database, and there we go. I have my pricing for this shed. So this being 116, 351.30, and I have the price here for the shed itself, for the erection, concreting, equipment hire, and fabrication. Then I can go to my reports and select one of the reports. So Shedmate allows your business to create custom documents. So for example, I just selected here a quoting template, and this can be customizable for your company. We can set this on your onboarding process, put your logo on it, your colors, add or remove information as you wish. And then once you're happy, just hit generate quoting document. So now Shedmate's gonna process, and Shedmate's getting all of the information from the model, the height, the weight, all of the details of every single structural frame and cladding, doors, everything. And it's putting this together with your own pricing calculations to give us the total price, and now it's creating a document that's gonna be your quotation file that you're gonna be sharing or printing to your customers. So let me just put this here. Let's open this document, and you're gonna see how it looks like. Good. So now I have a quotation from my company. That's the name of my company, as you see here on Shedmate. So if I close it, that's the structural steel. So your company would be named here with your logo. And then I can just see we have Henry Fords from Sydney, and then all of the details from the client. And then I have the information here of the project, of the building specification. I have information about, the sliding doors I'm using, gutters, flashings, the steel structural detailing, concreting details that I'm using for this shed, general specification. So this is all a template. We can create many different templates for your business, and you can create automatically custom documentation. And at the end here, we have the next steps for the confirmation of the order, right? So here's just, 60 or 40%, and it's already breaking down that value. I have also some basic imagery from this project, so your customer could leave the office in the first meeting with this printed. But if you want better results, inside Shedmate we can export plans in real time as well. So I can have quotation plans. So if I just hit quotation plans, Shedmate is gonna load that, and these are simple plans that I can share with customers purposes, right? So as you can see here, it shows the information on when it was created, and pretty face, drawing of that shed. If I want more detailing, I can go architectural plans, and then Shedmate is gonna create more detailing plan. We generally do this once you book the shed. Once the client signs the contract, you're happy to proceed, and then you can deliver better customer. So just opening it here, so you can see this is more detailed. We have here the floor plan with all of the measurements, with the sliding panel details there. We have some elevations, we have some sections. I zoom in, I can see it's very detailed there. And this was just created in real time. That was all produced by the computer. So I generally say that don't understand Shedmate as a software. That's more of a service. It's an employee that's there 24/7 to work for your business and produce information in real time, right? So in this demonstration so far, we have quickly designed the example of a shed here. We created some quotation architectural plans. We produce a quotation report. And there are many other things we can do here. Once again, I'm not covering every button of mezzanine zonings, everything we can do, and details about structure. But just saying that Shedmate is very flexible in terms of design changes. Here you can override any purling. You can override wrap trusses and edit individual portal frames. You can override columns and change to any column you want. You can use double up, you can embed columns in concrete. There's lots of the specific features you can do here inside Shedmate, and rules for girts, rules for spacing, including the ability to check if there are any issues or errors on this model based on your own company settings. So for instance, if your company doesn't do any roof slope below, let's say 5 degrees, we could just tell Shedmate to give you an error every time someone tries to create a roof angle that's 5 degrees. So as you can see here on my pricing, I'll just select this one again and save. Once you define the pricing database, Shedmate is gonna get that one. This one showing 92, just needed to refresh that. That's why it was showing 100. But now if I just make modifications here, you can see that Shedmate's adapting the pricing based on the changes I'm making. So for example, if I add a roller door here, or a personal door, add a roller door next. So as I'm doing things, my pricing is updating. And this is not only being a pretty face. We have here all of the details of the shed being modeled, including the cladding layout. So as you can see here, we have the cladding for every single one of those items, including the sliding panels. And I could export the cladding layout as well. Once again, real-time documentation, Shedmate can do that very easily. So let's. And this is my real-time cladding layout. So this, we have here the detailing about every single cladding length. This is can be used on your ordering process as well, and where each one of those is gonna be placed to help you on erection as well. So it's very detailed. We have a very smart engine running on the background to make sure Shedmate does that. And not to mention all of the features in terms of the 3D design. So this is very easy to show to a client. If you're on the phone receiving inquiry, you can easily take a screenshot of this here, send to the customer. So the visual is very important in the process of closing a deal. You can measure stuff, and the system is very, very powerful here. All right, now you might ask, okay, Arthur, where is that pricing coming from? So all of that pricing is coming from our instant quoting system. The way it works is, once you subscribe to Shedmate, we're gonna create some sample libraries just like we have here, and you can bring that pricing from Excel if you have that on your current systems you use. And this is pretty much a list of every single item, being it material or fabrication or admin costs that you have in the unit, right? So here I have the price for galvanization per kilogram. I have the number of bolts and pricing per unit. I'll have here concrete per square meter in different resistance, like 20, 25, 30, you name it. And all of these items here, they'll be linked to a pricing calculation. The pricing calculation is pretty much how Shedmate is going to quantify those items. So for instance, here for the concrete slabs, Shedmate's getting every item that the concrete that contains the slabs and that the material is concrete 32 MPa. This comes from the designer in Shedmate. And then I can have here the square meter of the volume of concrete I need for the footings and for the concrete slab. I'm using concrete slab only. And multiplying that by a number like 275, so I have 11 grand, right? So as I'm summing up all of those items like labor or ZEDs and trim deck zinc, universal beams, SHS frames, equipment hire, then Shedmate is going to give me a price, and I can group all of those prices as I have done here in shed, admin, erection, concrete, equipment hire, and set up our markup, GST, and all of the details we want. This is done once by a company. You don't need to do this every single time. Once you do it, all you have to do is apply this pricing database to any shed, and then you're gonna have this instant quoting running. Once again, instant. So it takes a while, obviously, to define all of this if you want a high level of detail, but Shedmate's gonna give you a template already to start with, and you can just refine it as you go. And then you're gonna have your quoting sorted. You don't need to be calculating quoting all the time. And here we even show and link the instant quoting bill of materials with our 3D designer. So we can actually see all of the items that are being quantified and the items that are not being quantified. So in this example here, we have this flashing that's not being quantified, and we have the roof. So actually, I'm quantifying the corrugated zinc cladding. I'm just not quantifying the roof. So it's just to alert us if there is like insulation in the roof. We're not considering anything here. So there are ways that we can explain in your onboarding how everything works, but it gives you a very good, understanding. Okay, is there anything missing? No, I'm actually quantifying all of the items. So this is very powerful, guys, and shows here a list based on the pricing of everything that's being quantified inside Shedmate. Have we covered everything? No, there's a lot we can do. Another example is, I'll just put an address here, and now we're jumping into the instant quoting. On the site plan. So All I have to do here to edit a site plan is type an address. So I'm just getting here a simple address in South Australia. So it's a residential address. And here is my shed. So as I'm moving my shed around, it shows me the distance from the block boundaries. So I just put this address here just to get closer to this one, to give you this example. Sorry. Here I can select another boundary, like just clicking on the map, and then Shedmate's gonna look for the geodata information from the state you're in, and automatically get the block boundary. So in this case, I don't need to worry about this one. And here I can move my shed around. You can see we're using at the moment here Google Maps, but Shedmate has high resolution imagery that's built in from a system called MetraMap. MetraMap pretty much takes aerial images, so they send planes, they fly areas, and they take high resolution imagery, and then we can overlay it here. So if I toggle high definition, this is what happens. So this is much better to deal with. And here we can move our shed around, and let's say that, hey, this shed is gonna be placed here. I want this to be about, 10 meters from this and 24, 25 meters from here. All right, so that's pretty much the location I want. And then we can take measurements. There are lots we can do here, but you can see how precise this can be. You can also add surveys, water tanks, access points, but I can easily create a PDF because that's a big block. I'll just select A3 and see if it's gonna work. Once again, we're creating another piece of information in real time. So we're creating our site. So that's a good example of what was created. So we have the high resolution imagery, we have the detailing about the distance from the blocks, the proposed shed location, we have north orientation, and we have here the updated elevation numbers that's gonna match on our architectural plans. So we just created real-time design, what's really good. And that's generally all right for council approval purposes, planning approval. The last part I'd like to show is the export IFC. So from here, we have a 3D model, and Shedmate can process to Autodesk Revit. If you use Revit in your business, we export to CAD if you use AutoCAD or IFC files. But we also have a Tekla structures or advanced steel optimized system that we created. So we optimize this, so pretty much these frames can be converted directly into Tekla native members. So if you use Tekla, you can just do that to sort out your fabrication and connection details. We don't do connection inside Shedmate, and the reason of that is just because every company does different connections. The variability is huge, so we prefer just to give you guys everything you need to sell the shed, to quantify the shed, and to have that design ready, and then you can just fine-tune it and finish it up in Tekla. Here I don't have Tekla on my computer, but I have an open IFC viewer that's going to be exactly the same thing as Tekla. That shed we have just created. So there we go. That shed just came here as native members. We can see here all of the universal beams in the model. So everything is there. All of the information for the beams we have. So this is what Tekla is gonna get as a build information model to convert to Tekla native files. And now, just to finalize, everything we're creating here is on the storage. So as you're creating documentation, you have transparency on your business, and you can open any of these projects and see who created this project, when this was created, and you can just copy a link to share with people or just download this. No matter if you're on the go, traveling, you can still manage your business from anywhere just by having access to all of this information. This is, in a nutshell, how Shedmate works for a structural steel workflow. There's still a lot of other things we haven't covered here on this video, but this gives you a very good idea of the whole concept of Shedmate, and the main benefits here for your business is, once again, imagine having a drafting team that can work in real time for you. You have a request, everything will be done. You want to create a Tekla model in a minute, you can. So you can come here, you can make modifications. Now the client changed, it's gonna be 5.8 meters high, and now our roof angle is gonna be 15. How quick can you do these changes? So in Shedmate, we have just done it. So we can just save this project. We have all of the versions here, so you can always go back to a previous version or a new version and then we can, export our IFC again or run our all of our plans again. And as we're doing those changes, once again, our pricing was 92, now it's 102. So you have real-time pricing, you have real-time drawings, you have real-time IFC or Tekla export. So you can focus on now getting more customers and getting those sheds manufactured so you can deliver and grow your business. This is what we're here for. So if you have any questions about this workflow, please comment this below. Send us a message, reach out. We're here to help you. We're here to help your business. And as I've been saying to some of our prospects and now clients, I think it's a moral obligation for me to sell you Shedmate because I know the impact this can bring in your business. We have customers who have been saving $200,000 a year by using Shedmate, just with the drafting costs and just with the new customers they could get by impressing them on the first meeting when people were waiting for quotes for weeks. And they go to these companies who are using Shedmate, and in the first meeting they can leave with a quotation, with plans, with a site plan, with a much better idea of if their budget's gonna match their design intent. So this is amazing, guys. This is very, very important to make sure that we can help and serve our customers better. This is what we do as a business here. We're a software business, but mainly a service business that empowers shed businesses to deliver more value. We empower shed business to be able to offer much better service to their clients and not to be so dependent on a highly skilled professionals who are very hard to find, unfortunately, especially on the regional areas where many shed businesses are located. So with Shedmate, you have more transparency on your business, you gain more control, you have more professionalism, and we also have a team here that, to help you on the onboarding process since from inquiry, first day all the way to fabrication. So that's it. It's been a pleasure for me to share our work, and I hope to reach out from you soon. Have a great day and live with passion.